Good morning, our viewer of 4TV, where you keep entertained. I'm Superhost Hamilton with My Planet as the show. This morning I chose to go this way, to go into this language, because I'm sure those of us who are watching 4TV, you really with us in this language as well, and you can catch up, because I don't want to leave anybody behind in terms of language. When I speak my vernacular, some people are left behind, but I will be mixing once in a while here and there. But this morning I'm glad that I'm here. Today, Thursday, the 18th of January 2024. It's a great morning. We are happy here in 4TV, and for you also, we encourage you to keep entertained, and we shall do that. Good morning. I'm happy to be here, and we shall start with a quote. This quote is about nature. And I told you that nature is part and parcel of my life. It's not by fashion, but by passion. I feel it because I know, besides planet Earth, nowhere else we can survive, we can live, we can develop, we can enjoy. So this is important that we talk about nature all the time. Never get tired about it, because you can never get tired about your life. As long as you cannot get tired about your life, you cannot get tired about nature. Other planets in the universe cannot accommodate us in terms of their nature as well. So here we are at home, and we must cherish our home. Our quote this morning goes like, one of the first conditions is that the link between man and nature shall not be broken. The link between man and nature shall not be broken. Man and nature are closely linked, closely intertwined, are closely connected. When you disconnect man and nature, you have a disconnected life. And once life is disconnected, you are no more. We cannot ever see you or interact with you. So this morning I just want to simply remind us that it is important always to regard nature as part and parcel of your life, part and parcel of my life, part and parcel of everyone's life. And treasure it as much as you treasure your life, because after all, the oxygen we take in, we breathe, we inhale, is nothing but originating from nature. And so nature comprises of a number of things that make our life easy and enjoyable. We talk about the creation, the natural world, we talk about environment. When we talk about environment in this context, in this particular context, I'm talking about what is surrounding us in terms of let's talk about a green nature. We can talk about trees, we can talk about the plants, we can talk about even animal kingdom. In the technical terminologies, we talk about fauna and flora. So we are talking about the animal kingdom, the world, the beasts, the animals at home, those which are domesticated. They are part and parcel of nature. And by the way, in biology, we are told that we too, human beings, are animals, but animals of the high class, and we are mammals, and we have other mammals which are not human beings, like the whales in the waters or in the sea, and other mammals as well, which are those other animals which are beasts. But also, we have to treasure. All these are surviving mainly on the green environment, the plant kingdom. Those are the ones supplying us with oxygen, with fresh air, with good environment, rain, soil, fertility, production, food, and all these things. So we should cherish that link between man and nature. Should not be disconnected, should not be broken. Once it is broken, how is it getting broken? It gets broken when we destroy nature. We destroy nature by cutting down forests without planting more, or not planting forests where they never existed. They never existed. We don't plant, and even when we cut, we don't plant back, and that one does not really augur well with our existence here on planet Earth. So my planet is key. That's the basis of our life, and so it calls for everyone's attention, everyone's embracing, everyone's cherishing and enjoying as well. And the resources that are available here, we use them sustainably, meaning that we make use of them, but also replenishing them, planting back, putting back. Like we have a return of a natural here that Ngwensambwe takwitire olima no garam. Where you have not made a loss, if it is a garden, you keep planting there. You harvest and plant again in another season because you know your soil is fertile and so it is producing what you need. Okay, that was the quote this morning, relating to nature and therefore relating to our life. And I just encourage you really to take it as part and parcel of your life. Be part of that team, be part of that group, be that part of that family that cherishes nature, protects nature, promotes nature, conserves nature. Never participate in destroying nature, because then you will indirectly be destroying your life, our lives as well. Part 2 now, we are going into today in history. What happened today, many years ago. It was like 18th of January, like it is today. Today, Thursday, is 18th. The month is January, except that the year is 2024. There was no year 2024 before this year came, this time in January. So we are talking about today in history, meaning that we are reflecting on the past, looking at what happened. Many things happened in history, not necessarily particularly in the docket of history, but we are talking of history because that is the past we are talking about. In the past, we could have had some happenings in science, some happenings in religion, some happenings in the world of literature, and all these are things you can consider. But the fact that it happened in the past, it is considered to be part of that historical period. And so on 18th of January 1919, post-World War I peace conference opened in France, in the city, the capital city, Paris. For us here we say Paris, but French is Paris. They have a way they speak their language, and that is the capital city of that country. Post-World War I peace conference started. We're talking about post-World War I. First of all, post means something that has happened, has gone by, and so you are doing activities relating to the past activity. That's the post aspect I'm talking about. And World War I happened when we were not there, because the time it happened, most of us, if not all, were not yet born. Not many people were born who were born in 1914. Because you'll get to understand that World War I broke out on 28th of July 1914. 20th of July 1914, World War I broke out in Europe, in a country called Serbia, when Serbia was attacked by Austria-Hungary. Others say Hungary, but it depends which school you went to and where you studied from. But all makes sense. People can understand Austria-Hungary. There is a country called Hungary. There is a country called Austria, as well as there is Australia. But today we are talking about Austria. And so World War I broke out. People would like to get interested to know possibly World War I. What caused it? It is very important for us to remember that as we quote today in history. It's also good to know the little bit of background. I'm not going to the detailed history of World War I, but I'll give some glimpses of really what was happening, what caused the First World War I. But the fact that we talk about World War, we are talking about so many countries engulfed in this war. There's so many countries. It broke out in Europe, yes, but why do we now attribute it to the entire world, because these countries are related in so many ways. The countries that fought came from, like Russia, for example, was involved. Later in 1917, United States of America was involved. Earlier on at the break of the war, many countries, Germany was involved. And later on, we understand many countries also from Africa, from Asia, were directly and indirectly involved. And so, by the dimension that it almost touched every part of the continent, or every part of the world in terms of the continents, had a part to play. So it becomes a world war. A world war because then war materials were imported or made from different countries, and so if they are participating in this war, they are part of this world war. The soldiers and the civilians who were running up and down, migrating or moving as refugees to other countries because of war. So all these are justifications as why we have to call this war World War. And so it was World War I, implying that there was also later another war, another World War, which was World War II. And unfortunately, there is an anticipation of World War III. Given the events that are taking place in the world, upheavals that are geopolitical and other interests can eventually end up leading into the Third World War. But God forbid, because we know the consequences of these world wars, even when they are not world wars, wherever the wars are, consequences are bad. You can imagine now what is happening between Israelis and the Palestinians in Gaza. Israel fighting against the Hamas, that group. Also know what is happening when Russia is fighting in Ukraine. Many people are dying, many people have died, and they are continuing to die, and all other accompanying challenges that come. And so we are looking at today in history. World War I, I have told you, broke out on 20th of July 1914. The cause now, let's look at the cause. Geopolitical issues are so much alive globally, and many countries want to be independent, others don't want other countries to be independent. I keep quoting the example of the war now between Russia and Ukraine. I cannot actually even say between. I can say Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Ukraine was part of Russia in history, and many other countries as well, which are independent countries today, but they were part of the old bloc called Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, USSR. But when countries chose to become independent, when those areas, those big territories, those states chose to be independent, they broke off and they had to be free to be independent. Like Uganda here, we were under the control or the rule or the management of the British way back up to since 1894. We came under the British protectorate. But when time came and we wanted to be independent, we chose so, and we negotiated. Others negotiate and fail, but resort to fighting or resort to war. But our fighting was minimal. Mostly it was diplomatic. It was conversational, and we got our independence on the 9th of October 1962. And so back in Europe, today in history, we are looking at the part of the Western Europe, that part called Austria-Hungary. There was that linkage, there was that partnership, there was that friendship. Hungary was not completely independent at that time. Austria was independent somewhat, but they were having their closest ally was Germany. So Austria and Hungary wanted to keep together as a country, and Serbia, which was just next to them, part of that area, wanted it to be independent, was looking for nationalism, was struggling to get independent, to cease being part of Austria-Hungary. And so that was the point where the war started from. What happened exactly? Now, Austria had a prince. This prince, they refer to them as dukes. Dukes. This was archduke. Like here we could say Omubito, Omwana w'Engoma. Yeah, abajumura engoma abebembera amakama hati nkaita koktuina mtoro hano. Tuine kerasejo mkama watoro onyimba kwa ambi gurukija wakana wito wakawa takajira hangoma akabali mubito mkuru murukara rwabo orwaba bito no jumuire engoma hanyuma kutuza kwa kabumba rundi ise olime Matthew Kaboyo kale betu as I'm resorting back, why I'm going so much English is that our Batoro, our Banyoro, Banyankole, Bakiga who are in the diaspora do understand this language, but besides talking to them and those who are within here, people who are using this modern way of communication, who are networked on the internet and the digital world, they are speaking English and understanding English, yes. But the main point behind my discussion in this language is that there are other people who are not of this language who really need to benefit from this discussion. We have people from northern Uganda, for example, the Acholis, the Langis, the Lukubar, the Kakwa, the Eksanyanya, and other people. People from Karamoja sub-region may not catch up with us in Runyoro Toro. There's something people in the diaspora, those who are in London, in Paris, France, in the United States of America. This 40 TV is catching up with all those areas I'm mentioning. Yeah, we are there. We are on the net. You know, this is a global village, as I always tell you. So, in order for me not to betray those people, to deny them the opportunity of sharing into the benefits of 40 TV, where we keep it attained, so I go that way. For today at least, and I will get feedback. If you're happy with it, if you're not happy with it, then we shall find a way of doing it differently. But for today, I have chosen really to at least 90% go that language so that we can catch up. So we were talking about the Archduke of Austria, Franz Ferdinand. This one was the person to be in control of Austria-Hungary plus Serbia, which they did not want to break off, to be independent, to secede. To become independent. They didn't want secession of that part of the country. But that part of the country called Serbia was struggling, had kind of struggle for independence. And so they were doing everything possible to make sure that they are cut off from Austria-Hungary. What happened is that it seems, it is assumed that Serbia supported a terrorist. That's what they call that individual. The assassin. Somebody who assassinated Prince or Archduke Franz Ferdinand. He was assassinated on 28th of June, 28th of June 1914, was assassinated by a terrorist, so-called a terrorist, or somebody who was hired to do that. It is assumed, really. I don't know if there is empirical evidence about this, but that's what history is telling us. Gavrilo Princip was based in Serbia. I think was a Serbian as well. It seems that that group which was fighting for independence employed him or hired him to do the assassination, which he completely did. And so Austrians, Hungarians, and their ally, the Germans, allies, I mean the individuals, but the country is Germany as an ally to Austria-Hungary, got annoyed, and so they wanted to revenge, to attack, and actually they attacked Serbia. They attacked Serbia on 20th of July 1914. So this war drew in many countries, and they took sides. Now we have the Central Powers. The Central Powers, these are the people who were on the side of Austria-Hungary. Austria-Hungary itself is part of the Central Powers. Then the ally, the closest ally, Germany, and also we have Turkey alongside that. So they are parts of that Central Power. And they all attacked Serbia. But there were other countries which formed an alliance, wanted to defend Serbia. You know, one small thing can spark off a global event, a global catastrophe, or a global activity of some sort. But this one was a global catastrophe. That's why it is called World War. So other countries wanted to defend Serbia. So we can talk about Great Britain, we can talk about France, we can talk about Belgium, you can talk about other countries as well, Italy inclusive, Russia, were in to save Serbia from being attacked or being destroyed by the other Central Powers, which include Germany, Austria-Hungary, plus Turkey. Turkey in history, it was a huge empire at the time, before World War I, I think even after World War I, thereabout. Earlier on it was referred to as an Ottoman Empire, or Turkish Empire. Was huge in Europe. It is in between there, between Middle East and Europe, and Asia as well, in between there. And so, but the biggest part is in Europe, and that's why it is supposed to be in the European Union. Is it there? Yeah, I think it is there, the European Union. I will establish further on that. But the point is that, so war broke out. Now we have two blocks. We have the Central Powers, we have the Allies in their alliance, and eventually the war ended in the defeat of the Central Powers, meaning that Germany was defeated, Austria-Hungary was defeated, Turkey was defeated in their block of the Central Powers. And so when America joined in 1917, it became huge. Modern technology at the time was employed. Catastrophically, we lost so many millions of human beings, many millions of lives, of people. And we understand from that point of history that the world lost 8,500,000 soldiers. Majority of them died because of the high technology. Airplanes were being used and other types of war materials. Others got seriously injured, wounded, and they died out of as a result of the wounds or injuries and so on. So others died instantly because, of course, when you're exchanging fire, people can die. 8.5 million soldiers perished in that war, catastrophic war, that World War I. But also, you know, where the elephants fight, the grass suffers, like we have in Rutoro. I'm talking about the citizenry, the ordinary people, the non-soldiers, the civilians I'm talking about. We lost 13 million lives in World War I. 13 million lives of civilians. Others died directly, others died out of injuries and wounds, but 13 million perished. 13 million civilians perished. And that's why we always need to find the middle ground. If we have conflicts, we have disagreements, you know, consternations, we need to amicably or mutually resolve these conflicts. But sometimes it is not possible, depending on the approach one party is engaging. Like now in Middle East, the recent war that is ongoing between the Israelis and the Palestinians in Gaza Strip, where the Palestinians with that group of the Hamas, who are the fighters there, whom Great Britain, America, and other countries or Western Europe have labeled a terrorist group, is fighting against Israel or with Israelis. On 7th of October last year, the Hamas attacked Israel from the southern end of the country early in the morning on Saturday, Sabbath day for the Jews over there. People are still sleeping, I think maybe just beginning to wake up. Towards 6 in the morning. Staff can tell me here, you can talk of 6 o'clock, but there was also that period of time in the morning. So the Hamas crossed over into Israel and butchered, not simply killing, but butchered more than 1,300 individuals. Other people are in celebrations. They have some celebrations, festivities. Others were asleep. Others were organizing to go for Sabbath worship. Others, it took them by surprise. By surprise, it was catastrophic. People were butchered. People were killed in really a shocking kind of environment. And so Israel was taken by surprise, and so it retaliated. Retaliation now was to follow up on these murderers, on these killers, on these invaders, up to where they came from. They knew where they were coming from because their fightings have always been there, but this was too much this time around, and it sparked off this fighting which is in the Gaza Strip. The world is divided up in terms of who is supporting who and why. You know, apportioning blames here and there, you know, talking and fighting in self-defense. Also, all these other counter-accusations are going on in the world. So, if it were possible, we would have avoided this one. The world would have avoided this catastrophe as well. It is catastrophic also. Many Palestinians have died in thousands, tens of thousands actually. You know, majority of these, we are told, are women and children. Because why women and children? Simply they don't have enough capacity to fight against them. I mean, to fight against the enemy, so-called enemy in quotes, or to defend themselves. They don't have the knowledge, the experience, the training, the war materials. I'm talking about arms to fight back. The children, I mean, you can know what a child is like, so a child cannot fight back. A woman herself. Yes, there are some women who are fighting in the armies in this world, but the ordinary women at home, what do you expect them to do? Do you expect them to pick a spear and fight, to pick a pang and begin fighting, to pick a gun, begin fighting? They're not soldiers. They're not there. They're domestically there. So fighting should be avoided where possible, but when it has come, it has come. So things happen. So what we want took place and many lives perished. Now you can add 8.5 million plus 13 million, you can see 20 plus million of lives lost in that war. But the war ended anyway, ended in 1918. The war ended in 1918, late, ended in 1918. But what happened, in order to make sure that another war has not broken out, because even when the war ends, the scars or the marks or the issues remain. The war ends simply because maybe people are exhausted. One side is exhausted or destroyed, or both sides are exhausted and they reach a point where they say we are destroying, we are completely erasing off our lives. Let's mutually agree and stop fighting. You know, have you ever met cocks fighting? In Pangis? Find them fighting. If they are all strong, they do fight for a while, and when they begin getting tired, they no longer spring, they no longer beat, they no longer, you know, do what? So what they do is they begin settling it down naturally. No more strength, no more energy to move forward. When this one is not moving forward, the other one is also not advancing, and so in between there, they understand they are no more able to fight on, and so they cease fighting. That could be one of the ways of how wars end. But also, one side, one area can be destroyed, and so vanquished or taken over, so the war ends. But also maybe there can be mediation. Some party, some country, some organization comes in between and says that please let this war stop. And you don't simply order the war to stop. There are many modalities, many processes, many things that happen. And you must be a very strong nation, strong organization, strong anything, in order to make sure that the war ceases. So whatever happened, the war ended. First World War ended in not 20 for sure. I'm living in the 20th century, things of that. So, but I'm talking about 1918 is when World War I ended. And so in order to plan, in order to rejuvenate the lives, in order to start again, to start anew, to have fresh start in life, you know, the people had to meet, the countries had to meet, leaders of the countries had to meet to make sure, chart a way forward, chart a strategy that will help them not to experience the catastrophic war that had just ended, that was just ending. So they went to Paris in France, because France was at the core of this fighting as well on the side of the Allies. And so they chose that country to have the conference there, the peace conference. And now this time you can see United States of America is involved, Russia is involved as well, Great Britain, Germany, and other countries. And you remember in Germany we had other people who are very strong, the Nazi groups and so on. So what I wanted to point out here that today in history, 18th of January 1919, a peace conference, post-World War I peace conference opened. I wanted us to get that idea. I've discussed so much on this because I thought when we say today in history, you need also really to add a few details for people to understand. And the relevance here is that we need to always do everything possible to make sure that the war is not there, or it is minimized, or is reduced, or is stopped. Meaning that we must work for peace. We must work for peace. That's why there was that peace conference. Now let me domesticate this kind of environment, this kind of nature. Bring it back home here, domestically. At home, we are talking about domestic violence. Why do the couples fight in their family, in the home? Why do children also get involved? Of late you hear in the news or watch the news that a daughter or a son has made an alliance with the mother or the father to kill one of the parents. You know, we have seen these cases. News is running all around, all over the place. Children are killing their parents, doing it in alliance or in collaboration with some of their parents, taking sides, or doing it alone themselves. Do I quote the case in point of late in the media in Uganda? I don't need to do that because you never know. Yeah, so the connections that are available in society. So war is never good. Yeah, you can fight in order to defend yourself, in order to destroy other people, in order to establish dominance over the others. But at the end of the day, even when the war is over, people never forget what happened, what you did on them. Like now in Russia and Ukraine conflict, Ukrainians, those who will survive, and I'm sure they are surviving. Yeah, I don't see Russia destroying Ukraine completely. It may do havoc like it is doing. It may grab some lands like it is doing. It has killed millions of people now. Many people are displaced and so on. And I know in this country you don't castigate Russia, and when you do, you are not understood in that perspective of humanity. But we are looking at things differently as a country, perhaps as a government, or as other people. But the whole point is that what is happening is not healthy, is not good. People are dying night and day, women, children, everybody. You know, people are getting displaced. But the point is that even when the war ends, either side will keep remembering, especially those who have been invaded. Those who have been invaded. And why does Israel attack Hamas in Gaza? Simply because it was invaded, and so it was retaliating, pushing back to do revenge. And you know, when the war between Russia and Ukraine is over, Ukrainians will never forget the destruction the other country, the invaders, have done. There are a lot of theories around that, but the whole point is that it leaves behind a huge mark, huge stamp. Some hurts. The first hurt I'm talking about is getting injured in the heart. The heart itself I'm talking about is that you keep feeling that and remembering that. So your heart remembers the hurting it got. So is it complicating the matters? No, I think not. So let's begin avoiding conflicts which result into violence. Some conflicts are important for eventually striking agreements. Sometimes we say we disagree to agree. There could be issues that we need to discuss, or maybe at some point we seem to be disagreeing, but eventually strike a compromise, we strike an agreement, and we move on. Life continues, other than destroying life entirely. So domestically, I need to urge everyone watching in to Fort TV, listening in, and as we get it, I know the time we are about to go for break, but before we go, I just need to encourage us that this today in history should have a lesson for us always. Not necessarily this today in history of today, but also of other dates as well, as we shall be quoting. Every day I come here, I will be offering that today in history. But I may not be taking so much a time on that, but at least we need to draw a lesson from this. At home, what is happening? Are you at peace with your wife, with your husband, you the spouses? You children, are you at peace with the parents? Parents, are you at peace with your children? Other relatives, have extended families in Africa and Uganda and Tor as well. So what is happening in the home? Is there mutual peace? Are people in harmony, waking up in the morning, greeting each other, when going to bed, wishing each other good night, peaceful night, cheerful night, and so on? Waking up in peace and enjoying breakfast together, laughing, chanting, moving up and down, having the day together, agreeing on a number of things, supporting each other. But sometimes the opposite is true for some domestic cases, for some families. And this is similar to the situation of the First World War. So even when these challenges come, we need to always try to strike a compromise, find peace, because we need peace to live, exist, work, and develop. Without peace, no way. We shall keep scattered and tattered in tatters, and development will never happen. Lives will perish. People always fall sick, will starve, will be disgruntled, disagreements will increase at local level, family level, local community level, national level, regional level, global level, like are the cases today in the world. Let's have a brief break, and we get a bit of entertainment through a lot of things that are happening in Fort TV, and shortly we shall be back. Don't go away.
Fort TV, ikara osemerirwe.
Mama,
waitu.
Baba agambire. Esefria yobusera agikombe.
Vibes and
Singa manyire kiro kyange kyo kufa buli kinkwenda nyandikirire.
Wegonzo takafire, nokyaro takabaire kufa.
Singa manyire kiro kyange kyo kufa buli kinkwenda nyandikirire.
Wegonzo takafire, nokyaro takabaire kufa.
Eksi wange, mukunzi wange no mukazi wange bona ni maraga.
Wegonzo takafire, nokyaro takabaire kufa.
Ebimba byange, mbuzi zange ne nkoko zange byona ni mbiuta.
Wegonzo takafire, nokyaro takabaire kufa.
Yogenda yona itibwa omutayi. Singa nimanye kiro kyange kyempero. Mukazi wange, mama w'abaana bange. Mutaire empeta nditurayira yalizaara ntaro. Buli bunyijuke byensi byakwonka. N'ebintu by'okwerumya nyowe nimbireka. Nyongera akafo kalira tikaleka mukyeno. Nyongeza etagenda yona kuliwa mutayi. Singa manyire kiro kyange ky'okufa buli kinkwenda nyandikirire.
Wegonzo takafire, nokyaro takabaire kufa.
Singa manyire kiro kyange ky'okufa buli kinkwenda nyandikirire.
Wegonzo takafire, nokyaro takabaire kufa.
Eksi wange, mukunzi wange no mukazi wange bona ni mbaraga.
Wegonzo takafire, nokyaro takabaire kufa.
Ebimba byange, mbuzi zange ne nkoko zange byona ni mbiuta.
Wegonzo takafire, nokyaro takabaire kufa.
Mbairege kumanye kiro kyange, nguraba muhona mu bantu bange. Bora nimbasaba amabugo gange, nimbagamba bagambe nganywa kenge. Ngutandika kuchekera buli kiro, ninyo byona nebya Hasani Siro. Gusa kwiki
ekiro kyange ky'okufa buli kinkwenda nyandikirire
wegonza otakafiire nokyalo otakabeera kufa
Camarada nyona machi nyona kwak Jayuni Eruma Yoleng Pililili Yoleng La gang mo pelaya Yoleng mano kara kara Pililili Yoleng Alawa yawa yo Yoleng mano wara wara Pililili Yoleng La gang mo pelaya Yoleng mano kara kara Pililili Yoleng Alawa yawa yo Yoleng mano wara wara Pililili Yoleng la gang mo pelaya Yoleng mano kara kara pililili Yoleng alawa yawa yo Yoleng wana wara wara Ariya mogo nigiria Lubaye koya Adwara mogo nigidwara Lubaye koya Mutero long mwana nigitwea Lubaye koya Muwilu wa bili nigitwea Lubaye koya
Welcome back from that short break. We have had entertainment. 40 TV keep entertained, and that is true. What we say is what we do. So we walk the talk. Thank you for keeping hooked to all on 40 TV. You're watching us and listening into it is very important for us. Like I said, I chose to go English this morning, and so that I'm able to make sure that everybody is both on board. I don't want to leave anybody behind. The feedback will tell me what to do next, and tomorrow I'll be here, God willing. But in this part,
Lubaye koya Igape kuma nigi dwara pin Lubaye koya Buwilu makjay nigi nera Lubaye koya Butiero kwe nigi nera Lubaye koya Kaan Lubaye kwara Beitema Kaan Olaye kwara Beitema Pililili Yoleng La gang mo pelaya Yoleng mano kara kara pililili Yoleng alawa yawa yo Yoleng mano wara wara pililili Yoleng la gang mo pelaya Yoleng mano kara kara pililili Yoleng alawa yawa yo Yoleng mano wara wara pililili Yoleng la gang mo pelaya Yoleng mano kara kara pililili Yoleng alawa yawa yo Yoleng mano wara wara Lubara go yawa yo ngara loro pelaya Yawa yo Ngara loyo pereya, oro luenyo ma. Lubarga uyawa yo ngara loro peya, uyawa yo. Lubarga oro luenyo ngara loyo pereya, oro luenyo ma. La mera we peirwengen, Yoleng. Ne kari luenyo dano peirwengen, Yoleng. Umera we peirwengen, Yoleng. Ne kari luenyo lonya ni peirwengen, Yoleng. Luba para tero kiti ye koya la yawa yo luba pa montone ye koya yawa yo luba para tero kiti ye koya la yawa yo luba pa montone ye koya yawa yo kaan luba ye koya intono kaan luba ye pira intono kaan luba ye ruga.
Yeah, intermittently we chose to give you those kind of breaks because we want to emphasize that you really on 40 TV you get entertained And work without play makes Jack a dull boy. That's what we used to say in school. But I mean, these breaks are important to refresh us, to refresh you, to make sure that we're in good shape to continue in our discussions. Now, I was in this part of the discussion, I'm focusing on morals. Morals are a very important aspect of life, but I'm talking about morals and development. Morals and development. Maybe to get everybody on board, I need to say a few things about what I mean by morals. I'm talking about standard mutual behaviors of people. They were behaving, and that way of behaving, which is embracing, pulling people together, making people understand and appreciate that that is the best way, that's a good way of doing things. We are talking about a separation between good and bad. When you talk about moral behaviors, what we are talking about good behaviors, conducting yourself well, cherishing good values, mutual respect for yourself and other people as well. When we talk about immoral behaviors or immoral activities, moral aspects, we are talking about the negative aspect of the way how we conduct ourselves. In this part of discussion, I will also be now mixing with some local language so that our people around this place in this sub-region can also very well catch up with the idea of what I'm discussing. Yes, I'm talking about morals and development. Do morals help development? Socially, economically, yes. How is the issue of discussion. Let's talk about our culture here, because morals and culture are related, morals and values are related. All these are standards of life, how we conduct ourselves, how we behave, how we treat ourselves. For example, now I will talk about one thing. For us here, we cherish, in Uganda generally, but also in Toro sub-region, or region if you want, we cherish the idea where husband and wife, these are males and females. Husband is a man, is a male, like myself. So my wife or my spouse is a woman, is a female. The one who conceives, gets pregnant, and carries the pregnancy. Sometimes when I'm joking, I say the stomach, but of course you understand. So that one must be a female. And so our marriage, morally here, is between a man and a woman, male and female, husband and wife. Not man with man, not woman with woman. I'm not discussing that business, but I'm showing you our moral ground. Because then that's when we are able to reproduce, to beget children who will replace us when we are wearing out, when we are ceasing to live, or work with them, grow with them, stay with them. And that's what the population is all about. You marry, produce, others also marry. The ones who have produced also marry and grow, marry and produce others. That's why we have grandchildren, grandchildren, daughters, sons, everybody. And that's what keeps the population going. But the moral aspect here I'm picking is that husbands are men, wives are women. That is our moral behavior. So we don't go the opposite way, the different way. That is one of the moral aspects I'm talking about. I'll give about 2, 3, 4 more examples. The other aspect is that as some of our morals, that we have respect for people. A moral standard sounds like a value, good values. They are interrelated. They are well lining, intertwined there. So respect. Respect, elders respect themselves, respect each other. Young people respect elders. Children respect parents. But also today I'm saying that we have mutual respect for each other. parents also, or adults or elders, respect the young people as well. That is the mutual aspect of life, and that's what generates love, and that's what generates peace, that's what generates harmony, unity, cooperation, is because people are respecting each other, respect themselves and respect others, therefore respecting each other. Let me tell you, if you don't respect yourself, the way you talk, the way you behave, the way you do things, the way you treat other people, you will not earn respect from other people. So respect begins with self-respect. And people will pick from there to respect you. And once you do understand that you need that respect of other people, you will also offer that respect of other people. You will reciprocate. This mutual understanding is give and take, yes. So you don't keep receiving as you don't give back. And when you keep receiving and not giving back, the other party will not appreciate you. You will not be making sense, you will not be making meaning, you will not be contributing to happiness, to life and harmony as well. So that standard of respect is very important, and it's a good moral aspect of life. It keeps us going, it keeps the family united, keeps the society united, keeps institutions united. Like in this institution here, Fort TV, one of the things I cherish from within this family of Fort TV is that we have mutual respect for each other, you know? Young and old, we are of different ages, different sex. I mean, females, males. Now look at the status positions. We have Chief Executive Officer, CEO, we have other senior staff in the management, other people working within, serving here and there, presenters, DJs, everybody here. Other workers that we have here is, and that's why we call it a family. We have mutual respect, we respect each other, and that keeps us going, and it's a good moral ground for this institution, and that's why we keep working and moving forward. You know, that respect means that it will produce also loving each other, having a positive mind about another person, treating another person like you would love to be treated. Yes, this is very important. And you know, when we behave that way, other people who look on, who want to join us, who want to know who we are, will just simply look at how we are conducting ourselves, how we are doing our things, how we are treating each other, how we behave individually in terms of self-behavior. People will know the kind of society we are, the kind of individuals we are, the kind of institutions, the kind of families, the kind of people around that we are. So let me tell this proud idea about Batoro. Batoro, I cherish the Batoro community not simply because I'm a Mtoro, but in terms of morals or behavior. One of the aspects that I like, one of the most liked behaviors from my point of view, is the peacefulness. The peacefulness of Batoro people is keeping peace, being peaceful is a good moral aspect, is a good value as well. You know, concurrently, I mean, in a similar way I'm using these phrases, the values and morals. We have good values, we have good morals. So that one, being peaceful, is very important. Being cheerful, cool, loving, embracing, welcoming, all these are characteristics, all these are moral standards, all these are values that the Batoro people cherish. I know the other negative aspects and they are like human beings are, like communities are, but I'm talking now about morals. By morals, I'm talking about good behavior, good attitude, values that are constructive, that are cherishing, that are welcoming, that are putting people at ease. No. Echo kikuru muno. Engeso z'obuntu. Kangaruka mukana. Engeso z'obuntu ntitwaza tuta. Nomanya kirungi muno. Kutamungane kitinisa abato n'abakuru otafireho size. You know, good morals disregard sizes, tall, short, colors, darker brown, brown, light brown. You know, sometimes we talk about people being black, and for me, from my understanding point of view, is that nobody is black. Black is a reference because we have different colors. We have the Europeans, we have the Americans, Asians, who are light skin, very brown. Others are white actually. Yeah. So here, because we are dark skin, they call us black. Yeah. But among the black people, so-called black people who are dark skinned, but there are those who have somewhat light skins, light colors. And so I prefer calling people in Rutoro, it's very tricky in kumweta kwiragura nguniragura betu obundi ngonza gamba ina akabiri kakwasiri ndi rangi ya kwasiri betu nabwo muntu neja kuburanganizibu so ina kugamba neragura betu mu Lungereza nikinda kukira gamba is dark brown. I think it is a contradiction. How can dark be brown at the same time? Yes, the body color looks to be dark, but it's light somehow, not so dark. Not so dark like charcoal, no. So, but what I'm talking about is that our community, for us here, we are talking about, when we talk about moral standards, values, good values, we don't regard the colors of our bodies, whether we are darker brown, whether we're brown, light, or whatever it is. We don't mind about the sizes of the body, tall, huge, or big, or small, slender, or things like that, or slim-sized. I mean, so we don't regard that on. When it is mutual respect and valuing people, we disregard the gender differences. Male, female, all human beings need, adore being respected, like being respected. You know, love that. Male, female, you need to respect them, you need to love them, you need to cherish them. So you disregard the sex differences. You know, even in terms of age, adults, old people, elders need respect. Middle-aged people need respect. Young people need respect. Even the children, they may not tell you that they need respect, but they feel good if they are treated well. And treating people well is part of respect in a practice. Yeah, that's what it is. And so we need, when we talk about morals, we need to keep those standards. We need to chase those standards. We need to value each other. We need to know that we have what should be attracting us to make sure that we support each other. And that's what life is supposed to be. So there is a quote here. There is a quote here about behavior, about morals, about character. In most cases, we want to look at other people and see why are they behaving the way they are behaving. Why are they not very moral? I mean, why are they not behaving very well? And so we want perhaps to judge other people, want to look at other people, to demand that they behave the way you wish them to behave. But sometimes if you reflect, you find you, the one who is demanding people to behave the way you wish them to behave, you are not doing it yourself. Perhaps you are doing the contrary. We always need to check back. Before we point fingers to other people, we need also to point fingers, or maybe to have self-check, self-analysis. Yes, that's what I want to say. Self-analysis. How are you behaving? Because other people look at you also and judge you, and we keep in a judgment, cycle of life, which is not good. So, if you want to have moral people, if you want society to be moral, to behave in a good way, just start the journey. Just walk the talk. Complete or produce the desired ends of what you need society to be like. And so the quote goes like, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one. Waste no time arguing about what a good man should be. be one. Meaning that be what you want other people to be. Yes? You know, wanting the world to be good, it starts with you. What contribution are you making into making the world good for us, for you? So what we are talking about is that we really need to cherish the idea of being examples in terms of morals. And that's why in leadership, you know, I do a lot of things also. I cherish leadership so much. In leadership, we have some of the principles. One of them is that be an exemplary leader. Being exemplary means behave well, act well, talk well. By well, I mean do the things, say the things, behave the way people can be encouraged, can be inspired, can be motivated to behave that way. We would like to emulate you, to do the things the way you do it, to admire your behavior. You know, it's the exemplary kind of leadership we're talking about, even in terms of management. Even in terms of management. If you manage yourself well, you will easily manage other people well, manage other things well. You know, it's a question of really checking back on us to see the way we are doing it. We sometimes over-demand. We over-ask other people to do better than we can even try to do. So moral principles demand or require that we do it ourselves. So we set the examples of the behavior or morals. At home, domestically, sometimes we demand children to behave well. To behave well. But if you reflect your mind, you might find that some of the parents, the way they behave, they are doing it the way their children are doing it. Who is learning from the other? Their children are learning from the parents. And that's why we have these things like father, like son. Like mother, like daughter. Tine ni mfumo mulutoro. Ezindi kuzichwa ni zitina. Tine kuzitina I'm a coward, I'm a fearful person, but nistina gamba ngo abantu abandi omulingo betegereza mu bintu baso gamba nde haturu n'urufumo rwacira agenderireke karugumanga ine muno nuruba nurugambire kintu cyonyine hatito abatoro mu ngeso zaite zo bunte nunge zo cyulezi ebintu ebimutu tubyatura kandi ubundi tutabyatura tutwegesa kurungi somatiri rugayi kandi utubyatura obumu nobumu abantu abandi bagamba ubundi wagumangana wabaze bisaliro wabaze bigumire kankwese na kino gamba abandi bagamba no segura hatika kwa no tofumo kagamba wodi mundeke ndutu embo tereka mistamiranye nayo hati runo kurihindura kuroro bya kwetegereza sabandi niruba nirugambaho abana abayisiki ngo kakuba babani batwaza nko kuba kutwaza nkiba nikimanyisa nebasana nkabanye nabo mu mitwalize rundi mu ngesezo kakuba nibakungana nibajuma abantu nibesunga nibaleswaleswa niberema nibakole kintu cyone kitali kirungi nabagamba abantu abandi basogamba ngo bundi na nyina nuku kankolese bigambe byoroberemo ubundi ngeso za mama we tinibe kwenda kurabamo beitu nyina muntu niwe nyoko. The person who produces you is your mother. So murutoro nikigamba ngogwa nyakuzara niwe nyoko. Hati gamba nyoko mukasumikana aborulimi orakasumikana rwabata bagamba kijuma habokuba bam bainako kuba ekigambo bakikoze sanke kijuma kandi kitasemire kuba kiti rugamba kira kiringu
Nyinaitwe toro okahundwa mau onini zabulyomu Nyinaitwe toro okahundwa mau onini zabulyomu Mundekere ngambe bana bange toro tegambwaho mau obunkororo busozi n'ebihanga nisekero munda muntu wange
Dorita kayorezo muntu wange Ebitoke n'amajanye bitakuhoisa
amagana mwisazi kazagire ebinyansi n'ebibire bitarukoma amalindiro n'ebisoro n'ebinyonyi Nyinaitwe toro okahundwa mau onini zabulyomu oleke enguru kijeko mutabisunga omutima gwa toro bantu bange obugoma budikiri nywena mwije tuhaisa nezo muhangi rwatuhaire
Chamuka kwa maiza gasempaya
orusozi rw'enzoli rwemerire
Amabere ganyina mwiru nyakasura
ebicongo n'ebisarwe bitarukoma Nyinaitwe toro okahundwa mau onini zabulyomu nimbatererwa abantu bange tulinde ebyobuhangwa tutabisisa nondyo walizarwa nokwabisango bukuda bwaitu toro bwa bulyomu
Dore emirimu y'engare eta sente
ebyobuhangwa n'obunirwa
Abakazi ab'egicumbi nukutusangwa
ebyobuhangwa n'obunirwa ekikubyo ky'owaitu ebampako ekikali kaluzika tukyesimisa
Nyinaitwe toro okahundwa mau onini zabulyomu
ego ningoza kwongera kubatangirira mkumuraho kuke tohaire kumuraho kwingi tugenderire habokuba 40 TV ntugamba ikarosemeriro hati obuntu obumu burukusemeza hireho urubazo akwa nimanya n'urubazo rwange n'urubasemeza bengi ntuyamwe ngiga nkuru tukwega tuketwara tukekonyeza but also obuzina nko bukuru muno nubulete engeso zaitu ntugamba morals tugamba behavior attitude and aspects of that sort hati ebyo byona nobiroromu mu buzina nko bwakazina kekitoro Nyinaitwe toro kokasemera okasemera tukuli kusemera emibiri yonka na amaiso nezoka nembaza baitu n'engeso n'emyetwalize. We are talking about morals and development. Ndahi kumaliriza baitu onyikirize yongo misize mbazeyo nakagamba kano nti enkurakurana rundi kugenda mu maiso kwa abantu momu kwa maka kwa bichweka kwa mahanga kusigikira abantu benseke nkokubali abantu bakuba bali barungi mu ngeso mu mitwalize omanyire osobora kuba murungi n'engeso z'obuntu torkwiba sente za government torkwiba sente z'ekitongole torkwiba sente z'emirimu torkwiba sente muka ezo sente nzija kukola emirimu erete kuhindura enyikara muka hati ekyo nto tukweta development enyikara esemere ebyobuguda byeyongere abantu babe kurungi emibazi marware bemu ebyombeko bikorwa kurungi amasomero gabeho gagende kurungi mu maiso abantu enkurakurana nkwebete. I'm talking about social development, even economic development, basing on the morals. The way we behave has a great deal of impact on what we do in terms of development. I think this one is very important. I want to encourage our people, wherever you are, let's cherish good morals. Let's have mutual respect. Let's respect ourselves, respect others. Others will reciprocate as long as we give positively, they will also give back positively, and that one will be extremely important for us. I want to encourage us to make use of this 40 TV. Please advertise with us if you have businesses you are doing out there. download our app and catch up with us so that you can advertise your items, your services, or other aspects that you need to do with us. You can even advertise through this show, My Planet with Superhost Hamilton. Contact me on my phone number, +256, that is the code for the country, but locally here you can write 0772 68 37 19. 0772 68 37 19. You can catch up with me in terms of advertisement, to get market through Fort TV. You can catch up in terms of programming. You can catch up in terms of you are interested to be invited to be part of this discussion. Actually, I'm going to arrange one of these days. I will be bringing guests like we do. We need you to come and participate physically here. Please call me when I'm out of studio. We can arrange, and one of the Thursdays, one of the Fridays, we can be together here and enjoy and feel the breeze within Fort TV, because we are a moral institution. I'm sending out until tomorrow. Tomorrow I will be joining you here. I wish you a nice day. Stay put.
Fort TV, ikara osemerirwe.
Nyenaitwe toro okahundwa mau onini zabulyamu. Nyenaitwe toro okahundwa mau onini zabulyamu. Mundekere ngambe bana bange toro tegangwaho mau obunkororo busozi n'ebihanga nisekero munda muntu wange.
Dorita kayorezo muntu wange ebitoke n'amajyanye bitakuboyisa
amagana mwisazi kazagire ebinyansi n'ebibire bitarukoma amalibyo ebisoro n'ebinyonyi. Nyenaitwe toro okahundwa mau onini zabulyamu. Olekenguru kicheko mutabisunga omutima gwa toro bantu bange obugoma budikiri nywe na mwiche tohaisanizo muhangi rwatohaire
chamuka kwa maiza gasempaya
orusozi rw'ensoli rwemerire
amabere ganyina mwiru nyakasura
ebicongo n'ebisarwe bitarukoma. Nyenaitwe toro okahundwa mau onini zabulyamu. Nimbatererwa abantu bange tulinde ebyobuhangwa tutabisiisa nondyo walizarwa nokwabisanga obukuda bwaitu toro bwa buli omu.
dore emirimu y'engare leta sente
Ebyobuhangwa n'obulinda,
abakazi ab'ekicumbi n'obutusangwa
ebyobuhangwa n'obulinda, ekikubyo ky'owaitu ebampaako ekikaali paruziika tukyesimisa.
nyinaite toro okahundwa mau onini zabulyomu
Nyenaitwe toro
If I say that I love you, yes I do. I got the blue kind of love, baby, for you. Even from my mind, you can still see the love in my eyes. Oli mulongo sikusobya, mpaka lidadala kuva kumutima. Navayo mulusaka, naone kisikiza nalaba kunjuba. Wiraba manyi gali nekula, mukwano tambula mpola kiboko zonkuba. Mera easy, ay ay ay, bwemba nawe, ay ay ay. Tumera easy, ay ay ay, baby, ay ay ay. Nyangu wanzije nkurebe, oh aye, zije nkurebe, Nyangu wanzije nkurebe, oh aye, zije nkurebe, oh aye. Tell your noisy neighbor, my baby will be passing by. Back to the camera. I have a message for them haters. Leave the main road and park aside. Sija tuvime mu baby tulie kumasali. Just freestyle baby tokuba pulani. Mubarunji kwe ya wangu no mudari. Oli wadara abalala kawani. Wanzija mulusaka naone kisikiza nalaba kunjuba. Wiraba manyi gali nekula, mukwano tambula mpola kiboko zonkuba. Mera easy, ay ay ay, bwemba nawe, ay ay ay. Tumera easy, ay ay ay, baby, ay ay ay. Nyangu wanzije nkurebe, oh aye, zije nkurebe, Nyangu wanzije nkurebe, oh aye, zije nkurebe, oh aye. If I say that I love you, yes I do. I got the blue kind of love, baby, for you. Even from my mind, you can still see the love in my eyes. Oli mulongo sikusobya, mpaka lidadala kuva kumutima. Mera easy, ay ay ay, bwemba nawe, ay ay ay. Tumera easy, ay ay ay, baby, ay ay ay. Nyangu wanzije nkurebe, oh aye, zije nkurebe, Nyangu wanzije nkurebe, oh aye, zije nkurebe, oh aye, yeah. Black Avi.
Mama,
waitu
baba agambire esefuriya y'obusera agikombe.
Agikombe.
Singa manyire kiro kyange